Um, as a coach, you can never be proud enough of your team when they put up a performance like that against an experienced Gabonese team. Um, I thought, we started really well. We took the game to them. We pressed them high and in the right areas. And then when you create the chances that we did and you don't score the goals, you're always going to suffer the consequences because as well as we were playing up until that moment, you allow yourself vulnerable at the back and with the experienced players that they have in Aubameyang, and that he doesn't need a lot of chances. That's why he's played at the big teams over the years. So yeah, and then they get one chance. We make one mistake, they get one chance, and then they score, and then automatically you go on the back foot. So now you're starting to make a little bit more mistakes because you're trying to press the game to get the equalizer, and I thought up until halftime, yes, they were 1-0 in front, but I thought we deserved more than to be 1-0 down at halftime. And then second half when you come out, and then the referee gives an incident like that, because how as a player how are you meant to defend if you turn your body and the ball hits you there? It's like there's nothing the player could do, and then they get a soft penalty. And I ask myself, first half, Michael Olunga was in a similar situation where he was ahead, and the Gabonese player smashed him against Gambia. It was the same incident. We got a penalty because our player was ahead, and the player was late to make the challenge, and then which is a penalty, and that's the rules. He doesn't give it, and then he gives a soft penalty. So when you go 2-0 down, then it becomes really difficult because now their antics, they go down, they have cramps. The goalkeeper is injured the whole game, but he's still on the pitch. So then you play that tactic so that you disrupt the play of the game so that we don't get into the game. But like I said, I'm super proud of my players. Very proud for the fight, for the spirit. They showed what Kenyans is about. Even when you're down, when things doesn't go your way, you never give up and you keep trying and they keep pushing, and they played some beautiful football, and we got the goal, and then you think, oh, maybe it's Gambia all over again. We can get the 2-2, and then with the amazing crowd that we had, we can get to 3-2. But unfortunately, it wasn't to be because, yeah, the referee didn't favor us today. Nothing went our way. So they had 12 players, 12 men. They were decent, but they had a lot of support from the officials because everything went against us. And when it is like that, it's difficult for a team to win or to come back or to try anything in the game when it is so complicated, when the referees are not um, justifying the game. And I get to see more players because Bajaba, Muhammad coming in, Mansour made his debut, 19 years old, on his birthday today. These were players that's never been seen in Kenya. And when I came, I had 3 days where I asked the clubs to allow me to have some of the best players that's playing in the Kenyan league for me to have a look, because it's only fair if I and the players that was put in front of me was the players that I thought that had potential, that can become um, good players in future. But we both start already building for Chan. Goromaya never allowed their players, which they asked permission to keep their players. So we did that, and it was Tusker FC. They've also asked not to release their players, so that was all good and well. But I'm not gonna select players I don't see, I don't know anything about, and that is the reason why you see there's no players from Goromaya in the team or that, because yeah, I didn't have an opportunity to see them, and based on someone else's valuation, coach, this is a good player. Man. I didn't have the career that I have for me to listen to another coach or anybody else telling me that this player and that player is the best or in our league. If I don't see you, you don't get selected. Simple as. And so yeah, so I think there's a lot of potential. There's a lot of quality young players in this country, and I'm gonna be around to go and visit teams and see players training for their clubs, and then also have the opportunity to invite them to have mini camps so I can see for myself which players. And Mohamed Bajaba is prime example. In 3 days, I saw there was something, called him up and told, no, if you put him with experienced players, I'm sure he's got improvement. And didn't he prove everybody now? So those are the things. If I don't see you, good luck. And then you play on a Thursday night, and then we had a chartered flight, which we are forever grateful to the federation for organizing, the president and stuff. But yeah, it was still an incredible long journey for the players, because we got back to Kenya the following day only. And so yeah, so it was exhausting. It was exhausting, but I don't want that to be an excuse for the reason why we didn't win or we lost today. We gave everything we had. They were experienced more than us. I think them as a team, they had more togetherness than what we had. I've only been here a very short while, and there's so much you can try and change, but you're never gonna get how you really want to be or where you want to be in only 1 week with the team. So it was difficult, and we are grateful for the support, the people of Kenya that came out to support. Wow, this was the most memorable experience I've experienced, even in my time playing as a player, playing in Europe. This was what Africa should be about. It was just beautiful, but unfortunately we couldn't give the fans that joy, to give them a win, something to celebrate. But what we can promise is we will improve, we will get better, and they will have a team that they can be very proud of. So there's a lot of potential, but like you said, when you come in and you have a window of 1 week to work with and select players you don't know, you've never seen, and you watch videos and you have to go with what you see on videotape instead of seeing players perform in a training session in front of you. And so it was very difficult to come in such circumstances, but I am very satisfied. I think we've got a good mixture of experience and youth. But yes, I would love to have more opportunities to watch the local league and go and see more players, because I'm sure there is some great talent and players that could also take that quick step, like Mohamed did, like Wilson did. He came in from Australia. No one knew about him. I saw him played once, and when I found out